All right, so the outcome of the Boston Tea Party is England is going to pass the Intolerable Acts, and the colonist citizens named them Intolerable Acts because they were so horrible that we could not even handle them. They were intolerable. And what those acts did was they made it so that Boston had to pay for the tea. They closed Boston Harbor completely, and they started moving more soldiers into Boston and requiring them to be quartered. Remember that quartering act where the people had to be housed in people's houses. So notice that these are all punishments for the whole city of Boston. Did the whole city of Boston protest the government? No, about 30 people, but the whole city has to suffer for it. Because of this, the colonists' response to the Intolerable Acts are not to, be like, okay, I guess Britain's right. They got madder. So more people start to become patriots. Other colonies decide to support Massachusetts. So New York's like, that's not fair. That could happen to us next. So they start to say, yeah, Massachusetts, you shouldn't have to deal with this. And then the colonies decide, we're all going to meet and hold um, the First Continental Congress to meet all together. So they all got together and they decided that they still want to be part of the government, they still want to be British citizens, but they need to change something. So that First Continental Congress decides we still want to stay with Britain. We are not thinking independence yet. We just want help. So we're going to write an olive branch petition to our king, King George, for help. There's a reason that they decided to write to a king. And King George, they thought, could help them. They didn't think that Parliament would help them because remember, they already talked to Parliament about virtual representation. So the reason that they picked King George was because it's a way easier to convince one person to think something and change their mind than a whole bunch of people in Parliament. So, spoiler alert, the king is going to ignore that petition, and our next step in our Revolution 101 is ignore the angry citizens that you create by passing laws that are very harmful and punish people.